On the eve of the Jewish New Year, Einav Zangauker retires to the patio of her apartment in Tel Aviv with her coffee and a cigarette. This is a tranquil moment for an Israeli mother who has spent the year fighting with every ounce of her energy to free her son. Matan Zangauker was taken hostage by Hamas fighters when they attacked Kibbutz Nir Oz on October 7th. A chain of WhatsApp messages between mother and son relay the terrifying final moments before he fell captive. Hiding in a safe room, he writes, "They're trying to get inside." She responds, "Quiet, quiet." Then, "Matan? Matan? Are you all right?" For 10 excruciating days, as authorities were trying to gain control amid the shock and chaos of an attack that killed 1,200 people according to Israeli tallies, the family did not know Matan's fate. Then came official notice. Matan was one of the 250 people abducted to Gaza. The pain of that day remains.
It's hard to believe that I wake up into the same never-ending nightmare. I'm living October 7th for nearly a year.
And for Einav, the time to be quiet is over. Over the past year, the single mother of 3 has become one of the most recognizable faces of a campaign pressuring Israel's government to reach a deal with Hamas to free those captive in Gaza. She's marched, she's chained herself to fences, and she's suspended herself from a cage beneath a bridge. Since the October 7th attack, 117 hostages have returned home alive. 4 were released at the start of the Gaza war. Another 105, mostly women, children, and foreigners, returned last November during a brief truce with Hamas. 8 more were rescued by the military. 37 were brought back dead. That leaves 101 hostages still in Gaza by Israeli tallies, at least half of whom Israeli authorities believe are still alive. Since last November, 10 months of successive rounds of negotiations have failed to produce another truce or free a single hostage. The gap between the sides may be unbridgeable. Hamas wants negotiations to end the war, which has now killed more than 41,600 Palestinians, according to Gaza health authorities. Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu has said the war won't end before Hamas is eradicated. In July, Einav shared video that appears to show her son, shortly after he was taken captive, riding on a motorcycle between 2 men in Gaza, one of them holding a rifle. That night she told a crowd that her son, who was taken alive, needed to come home alive. Einav holds Netanyahu responsible, a man she says she used to trust.
I was part of the political camp of Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu, of the political right. I worshipped him. I trusted in him. I was sure that this would be resolved very quickly, in a very short period of time. I didn't expect it would last so long.
Netanyahu denies politics plays a part in his war policies and insists it is Hamas who is to blame for the deadlock. Einav spends much of her time on her phone, figuring out times for her next meetings and protest appearances, part of a relentless campaign to save Matan and the remaining hostages still in Gaza.
Right now, as a mother, I can't fill my lungs fully with air. I take small, labored breaths, and I guess it will change when I see Matan with a sparkle in his eyes when he stands in front of me.